Got a lot of questions.
All right, mate. How we getting on?
Good, good. We've got a lot of questions to go through. I was just saying,
Is
but I
that?
think, yeah, yeah, it's been good. Because I think we didn't do them last week, did we?
Oh, yeah, we did some last week. I ran for it. But this time you went for it. Yeah? You put it up.
Well, off there, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about something beforehand.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, clients want you to. One of the things that I sell myself on is being a straight talker, and I will tell you, it's like black and white, right? Do you want the result? Yes. Okay, cool. Well, here's how you do it. And my clients say that they want that, and then you give it to them, and they. So this morning I had a female client of mine say that she just needs me to be honest. She goes, "Just be honest with me. Hit me with it. Hit me with it." So I said, "Look, your training's not that good. Your training is average at best. You need to try harder." Now, it's not that it's really, really bad. You're not doing the form isn't wrong. You're just not trying hard enough. Like there's not enough effort within the sets. Uh, so actually, I said that to her 2 weeks ago. Since then, her check-ins have been one-word answers. I said to her, I said, are you sure you're still into this? Are you still interested? And she said, can I be totally honest with you? I've been very, very demotivated since you told me that my training wasn't good enough. And it's just made me not really want to do it. And I was like, ugh. And then she also said, well, I was ill and I didn't binge. And I was really proud of myself. And then, you didn't even acknowledge that. I wanted a pat on the back for me for not binging. And she wanted me to not tell her that her training was subpar.
Yeah, so I think it's goal dependent, right? If it's someone that's like lifestyle or they struggle with those sort of things like binging and things like that, so that's a big deal for them. I had a client who is really heavily into drinking, and she wouldn't accept the fact that I'm like, you're a fucking alcoholic, right? I'm like, you need help. That's beyond me. You need fucking professional help. And she'd be like, no, 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 it's not like that. I'm like, it is. And she'll get really funny about it. And I'm like, I'm actually like giving you an outside perspective from what I see. So take it or leave it, you know?
Was that client that you're talking about there? Was she like literally drinking every day then?
No, but she can't go a weekend without binge drinking. And she'll have a decent week and then she'll go drinking and she'll just ruin it all.
That's kind of how I was in my young years.
Right.
It was I wouldn't have said I don't know. Even when I sometimes I think back with hindsight, and I'm like, was I a drug addict? Was I like? I still don't think that I was. I don't think that I was. I think I was just really liked that lifestyle, and I wasn't ready to let go of it. But
Well,
maybe she.
that's what that means. In my eyes, that's what that is. Because I always say to her, I'm like, you're an alcoholic. She's like, no, 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 it's not like that. I'm like, fine, couple of weeks without drinking. And she'll say, yeah, all right then. And so she'll start and then she'll go, oh, can I just have like one drink? Or she'll make shit like, oh, well, I've been invited to this date and this and it's bullshit. I'm like, look, you don't have to drink or have fun to go out and have fun and have a good time. If you associate drinking with everything good about your lifestyle, well then you've got a fucking problem.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. Like, I think people can't. They can't separate the two. If you're socializing, you're getting fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'll go on record and say this: I choose to not socialize because I can't be asked. And if I did, there's only one way that can make it bearable. That was if I got on it, you know.
Yeah, with the drinking, I it's something that I can't even relate to because it's never been a part of my lifestyle. So when people go, like, I'm sure you've heard of this. Someone will finish a prep and they'll go, oh, I can't wait to have a drink. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
really? Out of anything you think of, you're thinking about alcohol.
Do you know what that always gets me? Do you know what? You probably don't watch it, but over the years, I watched I'm a Celebrity. You know, when they're in the jungle.
I don't watch it now. Yeah, that,
But
yeah,
you're aware of it, right? So
yeah.
they'll be away for 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, and they get an option, okay? And it says if you do X, Y, Z, you can either have a nice meal, with a starter, main, dessert, or you can have a bottle of wine, right? You should see the way they react. It's
Oh yeah,
fucking mad.
I'm not
Oh,
surprised.
wine, wine, and you're like, what the fuck? You've been food restricted for that long, and the first thing you think of is wine.
Yeah,
It is bizarre to
yeah.
me. Back in the day, whenever I used to do what I did, it was never through the love of the taste. It was just the what it got me
Social
to.
aspect of it. Yeah.
Social, and it made me feel like I'd lost myself, if that makes sense. Because without realizing it, I was escaping my normal life. My normal life had a lot going on, so I was like doing that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That can be, you know, if you hate your job and
Yeah, yeah,
you hate your routine and lifestyle, you kind of take that as an escape.
yeah.
So yeah, for sure, I can see that.
uh, this client, she actually said we had a really good chat. He won't watch it, but my boyfriend might, and I coach him as well. It was actually a really good chat, and I'm really glad that me and her had this interaction that we did. And there's no hard feeling. She's carrying on. She seems like she's more motivated now. But she actually said to me, she goes, so from going from I need straight talking, she actually ended up saying, can you sugarcoat it? The truth of the matter is, I'm a little bit sensitive. I'm a little bit sensitive, and I think I need you to tell me the truth, but also soften it up. So I guess it's me learning as well. You know, I try and be coach relative to the person. I try to, but
Yeah, for sure.
sometimes I miss the mark, you know, and I think I did with her a little bit.
I think honesty is always the best, though, and sometimes brutal honesty is the best way, because the way they're gonna learn and they're gonna go, okay, so my training's shit, fine, so I need to fix it, or they're gonna go, oh fuck him, he's a fucking prick, and then they'll leave. And
Yeah.
then either way,
So what?
you know,
Yeah. Do you have those? Do you have any people that like kick back on what you say? So I think I already know the answer for you. I'm gonna, you know, like when you get like a guy who's like relatively experienced,
yeah.
a male who's relatively experienced, and then you tell them a certain thing, and they kind of kick back on it a bit. Do you have that?
Yeah, I've had that a few times, especially more recently, with people, and I just go, well, look, I think if someone's experienced to where you can trust what they're saying, I would listen into it and I'll say, right, tell me why you think otherwise.
Right.
But ultimately, I think it's either like it's kind of like it's your way or not your way or no way. But at the end of the day, you're the coach, and that's why they're here for you. Otherwise, go pay your money to someone else.
Yeah, I agree on that one. That's it. I mean, it's not. And the thing is, I've been asked recently quite a few, at least 3 times in the last month. So like, plays on your mind a little bit. Why this food? So in particular, they were talking about a bagel. One of them was talking about bagel. One of them was talking about beef mince, and one of them was talking about cream of rice. Why that food? Why beef? Mm-hmm. I was like, well, you need a protein source, and it's a very complete protein source. And they're like, yeah, but why not like pork? I said, there's no reason. You have to pick a food, and I just so happen to pick beef.
Yeah.
And they said the same thing for cream of rice. They said there's nothing special about it. I just chose it.
Yeah.
Like, we could easily choose something else, but I just chose it.
This is the thing, right? When I make a diet, I'm like, right, look over the diet and tell me if you're fine with all these foods. And if you've got any questions, ask. So then if they go, oh, well, I don't like cream of rice, fine, we'll switch it to rice. We'll switch it to fucking cereal. It doesn't have to be like, there's no must foods, you know?
I agree. And the reason why you're absolutely right, man. And the reason why I said that is because, as you say, you go with a coach and you take on their methodology. It doesn't mean it's the only methodology. It means you bought into them. If I go to you, I'm buying into Dave Chudley, right? It's not, and that's not because you're saying no other way works. It's just this is my way. These are the foods that I choose, and this is the training style I like.
Yeah.
That's it.
And this is the thing is that we do this shit. So, for example, if you say have cream of rice pre-workout, well, I have cream of rice pre-workout. That's what I like, right? So then I'm likely to prescribe that to my clients. It's not like it's not like I have cream of rice, but I'm just going to say to you, go and have, I don't know, baked beans.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right, man. It mirrors very much what you enjoy yourself.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
so, and I think that's why sometimes it's important to get a coach that is of similar likes what you do and what you enjoy.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a good one, but like, yes and no, because if they're so similar to you that they're basically just doing the things that you would do, it almost negates the purpose of them being there.
Right? Yeah, no, there is that too.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So But do you know what I do? Do you know what I hate? I actually had this thought there, but I've been sort of like contemplating going with SAS. And I just had the idea, like, not that I've heard it, but like, I just had this idea. You sign up with him, and then he just prescribes all this like weird food, and you're like, ah, fuck. Like, I can imagine that happens for some people.
I mean, you've seen some of his diets, right?
Yeah, I didn't even mean it about SAS. Yeah, it's not about him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
I just mean, imagine that happens. Imagine you sign up with someone, and they just give you a load of weird shit, and you're like, ugh,
Yeah, but you're
like complicated
of a
shit.
level to where you can say, for example, he does a lot of oats pre-workout or oats, like he does like 200 grams of oats, right? You can say, look, based on what I've tried, I know that I can't digest 200 grams of oats well. So can we do something else? I'm sure he's not going to go, no, you must eat oats, you know. So stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, of course, of
Now,
course.
if you're a beginner and someone comes up to you and they're like, yeah, well, I can't eat oats. Fuck off, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Just fucking,
Yeah. That's
you
true.
know.
I remember so Amy's had three coaches now. Her first ever coach was like complex meals. Like all the meals were like, it wasn't a meal plan, it was like recipes.
Right.
Like he used to do my head in. She was like, oh, but look at this one. At first, she was like sold into it. Oh, look at this recipe. Look at this one. Look, I get to have this. And I was like that kind of shit just doesn't work for me. I know a few people that do that as well. I just I don't buy into that myself.
No,
You,
basic shit, you know.
I give you the ingredients and you make it how you want to make it, like within reason. You know, as long as you're not adding in like X, Y, Z, like make it however you want.
Yeah, but if I say to you, right, you have chicken, you have rice and pineapple, well, how many different ways can you do that for? You can either make the chicken, you can even eat them separately, or you can make chicken and rice, eat the
Uh,
pineapple separate, or you can mix it all together. Like,
no, so what? So would you not say veg as well?
huh?
Would you put a veg in, like just for example, like would there be veg?
Well, you're allowed.
So, so what I would do then there would be three choices. Is what I do. Either just chicken and rice, number one, or chicken, a stock cube, and some boiling water, and then some like salt, pepper, herb, spices. Then you get like a broth. I don't know. And then the third way would be a quarter of a tin of tin tomatoes, 25 calories, and then onion, pepper, tomato mixed up into a pan. You get like a like not a stir fry, but like that.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
see what
So
you mean now. Yeah,
yeah. So that's what I would say to clients. Just make it how you want to, like
yeah,
make it so it's enjoyable. You know what I mean?
and change it up. It doesn't have to be all the same.
No. But you're much like me. Like I actually really love chicken and rice, and it's just like plain. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that you like that as well.
and it's just for me, it's just like it's easy. I'm like, what's the easiest way I could do it? You know, I can't be bothered to make like 25 minutes of cooking, making a meal look nice. I don't give a fuck. I'll just mix it all in. I eat it all the same fucking bowl. I eat out of bowls. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. But anyway, what's the update for you, mate? What's your update in terms of where you're at now?
There's not a lot going on. It's all kind of just the same shit. Kind of just so I was really struggling to keep my weight at like that 240 mark where like I would be doing like say 3 low days to get to like that 240. And then let's say I'll do one high day or might do an off-plan meal and I'll gain like 8 pounds like in a day, which kind of just was like my body was just not happy to like be at that weight.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna try and fight it. And then I kind of just like let it sort of go up a little bit. And it went up and then it kind of came back down. So I went up to like 260. And then like I got this like my base diet sort of thing. And then it's now down to like 255. And I feel good. Like I don't feel like I'm not fat or anything. So, you know. And then when we start with Dan, I'll just kind of let him decide really,
Yeah.
basically.
What's your appetite like as well?
Good?
Yeah, you're not like ravenous,
No.
just normal.
No, I mean I've got days that I'm like I'm not asked for eating. I'm kind of like yeah, whatever. Um, like I'm not hungry or anything. So
Yeah, that's cool.
oh,
Yeah, maybe just post show, post comp, whatever. Your body just didn't want to be there. Just don't want to be there.
no,
I think there is kind of like that point for me as well, where it's like sometimes you do think to yourself, like, why am I holding it so much? Like, why don't I just allow it to go? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it becomes a bit of a detriment. Doesn't it?
And you know that those 10 pounds, you can drop them in like 2 weeks or 10 days or like whatever. So it's not like not even that. I tell you what, one thing that's been kind of a not a struggle, but it's been training. Like I don't like after prep, like I just don't enjoy training. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to the gym, fuck. Like I can't really be bothered. Like, you know what I mean? I don't feel like training.
Really?
Um, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird to still be like that now.
Yeah.
Normally, like,
Training's like my favorite part of the day.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
now I'm kind of like thinking, oh, I've got to fucking train.
Oh shit. Do
Yeah,
you think maybe it's because you're in this like limbo stage?
it could be because I've really not got a goal. It could be that I never really took a break. I kind of just went straight back into it.
Well, this happened with one of my clients not so long ago. I told him to take like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Hmm.
Just he was like, yeah, but I don't need it off. I said, you do. He said, yeah, but I'm not fucked. I said, no, but your mind needs it. Like
Yeah,
it was nothing about deloading. It was just about make yourself crave it again.
but even then, I trained. I think I did 4 sessions last week, or 3 sessions. Like I did 4 sessions. One of them was an arm day, and I was just kind of like, I was still like, meh. I don't like. I went train legs today, and it was like before, like on the way there, I was kind of like, I got there, I had a fairly good workout, not like anything amazing to where I was like, yeah, like it was all right. And then it's like, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
that's not good. I wonder
know.
what that is then. I don't know. Maybe you need like an injection, you know, like maybe someone to train with and to get like a
I can't train with people. I can't train with people. I
no
could
one.
never train with people. I've tried it many times. I can't train with people. I need to train at my own pace, at my go at my pace, go at the exercises that I want. I put the music on. I don't like to like chat and stuff like that when I train.
Yeah, and maybe I'm jumping the gun. But right now, maybe you need it a little bit because
Yeah, I just can't think of anyone that I'd want to train with.
in who else trains at your what's it called
No,
strength?
no one I want to train with.
Okay.
No one that I would think, oh, I'd love to train with that person. No, I don't. I don't feel like no one that I would like to train with. It's like I'm one of those people that, like I said, I've never. I think that stems from the powerlifting because in powerlifting you can't train with people. You train on your own. That's the point of it because everyone does a different program. So yeah, since that I've kind of just like I need to train on my own.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe when we start like the program with Dan, it will. I'll have a goal to kind of like strive towards. If he says like let's diet a little bit, or if he says like let's push up a little bit. Now I'm kind of like in no man's land, kind of like you know.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
So
maybe you need that. So then I guess after this weekend kind of thing, Dan's going to be a bit more active.
yeah,
He'll be able to take you on properly.
yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
haven't started yet. Obviously, I said
yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
leave it until kind of like the
After universe.
after he's done. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Um,
how's your training? Your training seems to be really good at the minute.
yeah, mate. Yes, it's good. It's good. Do you know what though? I keep getting asked when you're competing, like in my gym, and they can't chat. I don't care at the moment, right? And I don't know if it's my age or what happened. Like, I'm not saying I'm like old or anything. What I'm saying is the desire to do it isn't quite the same anymore, and I don't know why.
Do you reckon
So
it's because you've
I'm
kind of
really not.
like,
I'm not that fussed.
let's
I'm
say
not
with
that
the
fussed.
PCA, you've kind of like completed the PCA, you know, in a way.
Yeah. Someone else said that to me as well. So yeah, my desire is definitely different now because I don't have as many shows to choose from. I've only got a few shows to choose from, and it just feels a bit different. So I'm not in any rush. I'm really enjoying training. My body feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. I actually had a consultation today to have gyno surgery, so that could be happening in the next few weeks.
Okay. So you need
Yeah,
about a month to recover from that.
yeah. The guy on the phone said 6 weeks, so immediately you think 4. Right? Yeah. So yeah, the provisionally I've set it to like mid-June. It's not been confirmed yet, but it will be confirmed within a week. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works. And what I was talking to Amy last night about, actually, I was like, what I need in bodybuilding is I need to be bored of the stage I'm in. Right? I need to be bored of off season before I prep. I need to be bored of prep to go into an off season. If I'm not bored, I struggle with the next phase.
That's kind of what Jay said, didn't he? He kind of is like, I need to miss.
100%. 100%. Right now, I don't miss prep and I'm enjoying this, so I don't want to leave it. There'll be a point where I'm sick of food and I feel a bit sluggish, and then I'll prep. But until that comes, I'm not going to force anything. So here's what it is.
You don't need to, it's
No,
not, especially if you don't feel it, you're like, fuck this.
and Magano has got to go. I can't keep hammering that. So the problem with Magano is obviously the aesthetic, but hammering the AIs like I do,
Yeah.
it's got to fuck it. No. I've got high cholesterol. So hammering the AIs like I do is just doing me no favors. So with that gone, I'll be able to run different courses. I'll actually be able to push test a little bit higher. Not crazy high, but higher. Because bearing in mind, in my prep, I never went above 300 milligrams of test.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, so we
Um,
just can't do it.
that light here's pissing me off.
That's all right, mate. Could you not tap your screen?
No, it's because of it's you see that from the outside.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so test and Tren only have Tren went up to 300 and test for 300. Not that I'm like gagging to use more, but it would be nice to have a bit more freedom with that and not have to worry about.
I think using a little bit more is better. Like with regards to test, I find it's better. You can't match it, no matter what anyone says. You can't match it with a Masteron or anything like that. It's not the same.
What I know we've sort of touched on this before, but what do you genuinely feel the difference of, like, if you're on EQ or Masteron, do you actually feel the difference?
Not with Masteron, but remember, so obviously when it comes to anabolics, you've got the anabolic rating and you've got the androgenic. So if something's quite highly androgenic, like Tren, for example, well, you're going to feel Tren.
Yeah, for sure. Tren's probably the only one that I do feel, if I'm honest. Because it's a 500, right? Rating.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's on paper. That's not like how it actually works, but it's a lot more androgenic than, say, Masteron.
Of course, yeah.
But look, when you up your test, I feel different to when my test is lower. Like with regards to, like, you're a little bit more edgy, a little bit more alert. You're a little bit more manly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Masteron, well, you're not supposed to feel that because Masteron's not androgenic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
That's why people like Primo, because it's so low androgenic.
That's same as EQ though, isn't it? EQ's low. It's not androgenic.
Yeah, it's almost like half the rate.
It's half. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like there comes a point that when you're like running like 3, 4, 5 compounds, it's like I don't know. I don't know anymore. And that's funny because I definitely come across so many people who like claim that this one's really good or that one's really good.
Okay, but let's say when you take something like an Anavar, do you not think that the pumps are like just all of a sudden you get the contractions are better? That's one thing I find. The contractions in the gym, let's say I do a bicep curl, the contractions are a lot harder compared to if I'm not taking it. And I can feel that almost instantly.
I can't say that I have noticed that, but that maybe I've not been looking for it. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you know what? And sometimes things don't make sense. So people often make the assumption, like at one point when they did a really big lift and they were using a certain compound, they'll immediately, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. So post show, after like that lean full look post show, what are you running? Me personally, I'm just on 250 test.
Yeah,
and it's the best you can look.
You've still got residual amounts of all the stuff you're on.
I'll give you that. Okay, so then wait 3, 4, 5 weeks. What are you running? For me, again, 250 test, and I'm still looking my best ever. And what I'm trying to get at is that it's less about the gear, and it's more about the condition that you got yourself in.
Sure.
reduce body fat, increase food, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is going to
yeah,
out any amount of. If you're not in shape, you're never going to look, no matter how much master you're using. However, I do feel it does make a difference. It does make a difference if you do a diet without the masteron, well, you're not going to look the same.
I've actually never done it, so I don't know.
No, but you wouldn't, it's because it does have those cosmetic, it does bring about those cosmetic effects.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to know, isn't it? Because if you were to do a prep, you wouldn't want to experiment on yourself, would you? Because you haven't really got time to waste.
No.
You just want to get the best result. Yeah.
But it's almost like, yes, you're right, but also we take those things for a reason. Otherwise, why don't you do a prep without them?
Well, part of me, oh god, yeah, I'm tempted to, because I'm convinced that the way to look, when people talk about fullness and hardness, there's never been a time where I've had a pump quite like getting lean and then post show. Like, and it's not about the residual. So wait 3 weeks, then wait 4 weeks, and then go in there, really hydrated, loads of fucking food. Oh my god, the pumps are painful. Like you can't even finish your workout.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And that is nothing to do with about a specific compound. It's to do with how lean you are, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to get this through to people, though, is my point. I think people are convinced it's just anabolics.
I think people that look for that haven't got the muscle to actually know what that feels like. You're going to feel that, I think, with or without, because you've got that much muscle. So
have you ever not been able to complete a workout?
Yeah. Normally it's legs for me. So it's quads. So my quads get so pumped that my knees actually hurt. So I'm like, right. So for example, I've done one set of leg press and I'm like, I need to leave it here. And I'll wait about 10 minutes. I'll do some lunges and I'm like, that's it. That's me done.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So obviously the lower back pump, yeah, I've had that. That's different. But post show, yeah, I think I trained chest and my delts. Oh my God. Like I had to put them above my head. Like I was like resting them on like a chin up bar kind of thing, just to allow some blood to get out. It was like ridiculous. Like 2 or 3 sets on chest, done.
Yeah,
done, finished. Crazy, man, crazy.
For sure. I mean, again, like we notice people over exaggerate the importance and how much these things actually do.
Definitely. Whenever I speak to people and tell them that I don't really run GH, I have run throughout last prep. I ran it for about not even the full duration. People are so like, oh, what, you must run GH. I'm like, no. And I think the name growth hormone sounds quite extreme. When you're not in the bodybuilding world and you just read that word, it doesn't sound extreme. You're like, fucking hell.
Well, think about the first time you ever heard growth hormone. People were probably like, what the fuck? Wow. I heard Rich Piana talk about this, and I was thinking, what the fuck is that? And he looks like that. That must be it. You know?
100%. Yeah, it's very, something about that name. It's very emotive. Growth hormone. When you hear that, you think, fucking hell. I don't know about you, I think of like, people like Rich Piana, like that ginormous, like oversized freakish. That's what I think of. But no. And then in reality, you take it and it's like.
So I've actually switched to pharmaceutical. And I tell you what, fucking difference is like
really,
mate. Wow. Honestly, like if once you try it, you would never run generic again.
Shit.
Insane. Like the pumps are like this is one thing that I can say for a guarantee. The pumps on that growth are just stupid. That's when I say that you can't even complete your workout.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I can't help but be obviously tempted by that. But every time I've ever used growth hormone, it's been a massive like dick flop. Whoa. Like I'm expecting something, and it's like,
oh, for sure.
You know, I've not really had anything from it. And it ends up just burning a hole in my pocket. It's like fucking £300 a month or whatever the fuck, however much you run. What?
It could be more.
Well, yeah, it depends on what and how much. But I think when I was through prep with gear, that's a good one. How much does it cost to fuel a super heavyweight bodybuilder. So if we're including food,
You know
gear,
what?
growth
I got
hormone.
this is a question that's on here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Should we go into some questions then? Fuck
That's
it.
funny. That's funny you say that because I actually haven't opened. I haven't opened most of them in here, but the ones I did,
That's one of them.
that's a question on here.
Should we do it then?
It's
Let's go.
a question about food costs and stuff. Yeah. Well, do you want to run through them in order, or do you want
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Go on. Let's go through them. Yeah, go through them.
Yeah, just kind of.
Hold
So
on, mate. Hold on. Let me finish it. So, like, I'll let you just say it. I would honestly, I say so. Growth hormone was probably costing me £300 a month. Steroids was probably costing me, I don't know. I'm going to guess roughly 100 when it was broken down, maybe 150 when it was broken down. And then the food was probably 100 to 125 a week. So 125 for about 500 for food, 300 for, so probably about £1,000 on steroids, growth hormone, insulin, and food. £1,000 a month just for those.
and is that in prep or is that in an
Oh,
off
that
season?
that was in
Because off
prep.
season is more expensive.
Yeah, I know. Off season, I run a little bit less gear, I would say,
Yeah,
and
but the
I'm not.
gear is not the cost. The food is the cost.
Okay, the food, I'd say I'll probably spend about 125 a week on food. 125.
Without the off-plan meals and all that
Oh
stuff.
shit. Okay, yeah.
You go out for a night out, and it's not even like, let's say you go to the cinema, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There is your 50 quid just without even like thinking about food. And then you go out for food and you spend another 80.
Yeah, bang on. Okay, so food like in the fridge, 125, because I know I do two, I go twice a week.
Yeah.
It's roughly, yeah, 60 to 75 quid every time, right? So I know that for a fact. The off plans, they're probably 30 to 50 quid each time.
30 quid. Fuck me. What the fuck are you eating?
Yeah. Oh shit. So I've got this one near me. It's called Dolce. And I order a smash burger, chicken nuggets, curly fries, cookie dough, and an ice cream.
And that's 30 quid.
And it's 26 quid.
But hold
quid.
on. Amy then orders hers because you don't just pay for yours.
Amy's in prep.
Okay, well, yeah, but let's say if she's not. Because I know that like when we go out, 80 quid is like the bare minimum. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if it's me and Amy, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Would you say that was similar to you on prep, by the way? Cost wise.
My prep's cheaper. My prep is cheaper because there's no off-plan meals. And you know, if you're just eating rice and meat.
Yeah, well, you were going zero carb for so long, weren't you, as well?
No, that was like whey protein.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's not it
for a lot of other people watching as well, like, you know, like supplements and whey and stuff like that. That's going to cost you another couple of £100. But I'm sponsored, so that was free. So if you weren't sponsored, we're talking like £1,200 a month on just to get by. That's not including gym membership. That's not including entry to shows. You know, like Airbnbs.
Day passes for like other gyms.
So 1,200 a month, and prep lasts like 3 or 4 months. So yeah, there you go. It's not cheap. But anyway, go on, mate. Sorry.
Right, so we'll just run them in order, right?
Yeah, man.
First question. Who's your top 6 at PCA University this weekend in the men's bodybuilding classes? I don't even know 6 people that are doing it, but top 6 plus top females to look out for. Do you know any females doing it?
Literally none.
No, I don't either. I don't.
No, unfortunately not. I'm sure there's some really fucking good ones, but
yeah. Yeah. So top 6 at the PCA. So we actually spoke about this on last night on the podcast. And
oh yeah, what was the conclusion?
Well, they sort of reckon that Nathan's going to be really good. They're going to nail the peak, and he's going to come in really well. And based on like his balance, they reckon he might take it.
Who's he coached by?
Joe, Physique Collectives.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they think he might take the overall.
Well, no, they're saying like he's going to be a contender for sure.
No doubt, 100%.
So you've got him, obviously Craig, Dan,
Who did they have winning out of Craig and Dan?
We didn't speak about this because they're in low, Craig.
Sure. Craig, Dan, Chris.
Chris.
Do you know what? There was going to be such a good entry, but he's fucking doing FitX instead. And he's a pro. But you know, Guy Harding.
Oh, he's doing it?
He's not. He goes, I'm competing Saturday. So I messaged him. I was like, shit, you doing the qualifier? Turns out he's a PCA pro, so he can't do it. But, imagine him in the line. I'd doing fucking class. So good. But yeah, he's doing a FitX show on Saturday.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm not really sure why he's going to walk it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Maybe it's just like a confidence thing. So because I don't think he's been on stage for a while.
Yeah, he done the Atlas, you know, the GBO thing. He went to America. He's won it like 3 years in a row. He's fucking good. He is fucking good.
Oh mate, yeah, he looks.
I think he just does it for the love of competing.
Yeah,
he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just compete.
But I think with the universe, I think we've spoke about it fucking 100 times now.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see, you know.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, you're right. We all those names mentioned are a threat. So
yeah. Right. So on to the next one. How much weight per month should you aim to put on during the off season?
It depends, doesn't it? It depends on how big the person.
I was just going to say that. Short answer is it depends.
Yeah, there isn't a answer. Should we go with like if you're like a small bodybuilder, a medium bodybuilder, or a big bodybuilder?
I was just going to say like someone of your size is going to gain more weight than me. Someone of my size is going to gain more weight than someone that's smaller than me. So
the variables are how much body weight, how tall, how much muscle you got, how experienced you are, and how long you're doing it for. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But let's just go like you're doing a 6-month off season, you're fairly experienced, got a fairly good level of muscle mass, and you're of normal height for your fucking weight, right?
And you're starting lean.
Good one. Sure. Okay. I would say per month, per week, you're probably looking at putting on, as a smaller bodybuilder, a pound or two. More than that, and you're just starting to be a bit silly. And then a bigger bodybuilder, a medium bodybuilder, like 2 or 3. And then a bigger bodybuilder, yeah.
Should we say, like, don't go above 30 pounds, 40 pounds over stage weight?
That's a good, simplified, mate. Simplified.
Because I think, again, like I said, it's really difficult to kind of tell because some people just weigh more, you know, it's hard to kind of tell, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're 220 on stage, don't go up to 300. That's not gonna be good.
Yeah, that's it, man. Well, if you go off on the average of like 1 to 2 pounds per week, right? If you did that for consistently for 26 weeks, you've probably put on too much weight, being honest. Right? Let's say you were 200 pounds and you put on 50 pounds, that would be 26 times 2. 52 pounds. That's probably a little bit overkill. Because of those 52 pounds, how much of it is good weight?
It depends as well, because it depends what you're using. So if you're someone who's taking insulin, for example, a lot of that weight, the weight can come on, but that weight just disappears in the first like 10 days. You drop 15 pounds.
Even just speaking to you right now, which we knew anyway, but the answer is just not black and white. It's just not. Assess condition. Based on your condition and based on how well you're performing, recovering and whatnot, and you just sort of play it by ear. There isn't really.
I think performance is probably the biggest factor. If you're still performing well, just don't go up.
Yeah. There's no need. There's no need to just consistently put on weight. I think this is a trap that I know some of our mutual friends fall into this one as well. They feel like they have to keep putting on. Like you don't have to keep putting on weight. You don't have to consistently put on weight. Oh, well, I was 280 before, so now I've got to be 290. You haven't. If your stage weight is like 230, 220, you don't have to keep going up. You don't. You really, really don't. You just need to be, if you're eating enough to sustain your body at 270, right? But your stage weight was 250, 220, that's enough. If you are sustaining your physique at 270, that means you're eating enough to sustain a 270-pound physique. When your stage weight was 220, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You don't need to continually grow.
And almost, I think, let's say you gain that first from 220 to 260, which is £40, it's a lot. But let's say you gain that first initial bit in the first 15 weeks, right?
Mm,
And then the other 10 weeks are going to be a pound, a pound, a pound, a pound, a pound. So at first you're going to gain more.
that's a good one. Yeah, first 2 or 3 weeks, you're probably going to gain £15 immediately.
Not
Easily.
even trying.
Yeah. Without just by eating normally again. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's far too many variables to really answer that one accurately, other than just be sensible and don't overeat for the sake of it. Is it?
It feels like all bodybuilders at all levels are also coaches. No dig. How do you feel about this? And does this dilute the quality reputation of their coaches that fit for various levels? So basically, everyone's a coach. Does that dilute the coaching scene?
Yes. Yeah, it does. But
I don't know. I'm going to go against it. I'm going to say no.
You go on.
Because you need to look at before you go into a coach and you're like, I'm going to hire this guy. Well, you should probably look at, how does he look? Does he preach? Does he practice what he preaches? Does he have client results? And is he producing like, consistent? Is it just like they've got like one client by miracle? Like, so if I go on your page and I'm like, right, pro bodybuilder, really good bodybuilder, done a million shows. He's got a load of clients. He's got overall wins. Okay, I'm going to hire this guy. Or then you look at someone who goes, yeah, put straps on the hamstring curl, and you do this and you do that, and the guy's like 150 pounds. He's never had a client. He's never got anyone in shape. He himself is not in shape. Well, then that should tell you, I'm not going to go and hire this guy. If you do, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, I agree with that. But then, would you not say that person is diluting the coaching industry?
No. Think about, I don't know, kebab shops, right? Some of them are going to be shit, but then you can go on the reviews and you can look at reviews, and some people will say this is really good or this is really shit. It's kind of like, it's like anything. There's lots of anything when there's a big industry.
Yeah, do you know what? That's actually where I was going to go with it. My answer was going to be that. Yes, it is diluted, but it's up to you to not be a dick and choose a shit coach.
Right? Yeah.
You should be able to sift through the shit.
Yeah.
And the cream will always rise. If you're actually legit and you're actually good and you know what you're talking about, you're lost.
And I think with coaches, it's actually quite easy to tell, because above all, are they producing the result? Because you're looking after the result. You're not looking at, well, this person looks really good, I'm going to hire him. Because there are people that look really good, but I ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah.
So, you kind of need to look at it and be like, right, does this guy actually have clients that do well?
Definitely. So many times people have said that to me. They'll say, oh, well, obviously you know what you're doing because look at you. And my answer is, yeah, but I've also been coaching for 8 years. Like, I know, yes, I do know what I'm doing because of me, sure. But I could have just good genetics. I think that there are some people who are just in shape because they're in shape.
Yeah.
They didn't even try to get there, if that makes sense.
I tell you what, though, if someone says to you, Ryan, I want to, you've squatted 300 kilos. Can you coach me to squat 300 kilos? You're probably going to go, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm the same way. I actually have one client who's like into strength. And that's because like we've done it for so long, and I actually kind of like, and even still, we're doing like a 5-3-1 template. It's not like I'm building his program. He's just like strong naturally, and he just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I just tweak his diet. Now, if someone said to me, like, I want you to periodize my program so I can deadlift 300 kilos, I don't know how to do that. I can do it, but that's just naturally. I just naturally got to it. I didn't have to try or follow a fucking program.
Yeah, that's so true. Like right now, if I were, and I'm sure you're the same. Okay, if we had to go to 300 now in 6 weeks, we could just do it. I don't need to be that methodical.
No,
I will. I know I can squat 300 if you give me 6 weeks and you put a gun to my head.
Yeah,
I could just do it.
Yeah,
I could just do it. It's not. I don't need to think too hard about it. You know what I mean?
But someone who is currently squatting 180 and they want to get to 300. I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't know how to teach someone to do that. And there are people that can.
Yeah,
that guy. But people can look at you and think, he squats 300. He can teach me. No.
No, no, absolutely not. Our genetics have been favourable into what in terms of like strength for you and I. It just were.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, 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 no. No, I agree. I agree.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Again, we actually touched on that. Does HGH make as big of a difference as people say? No.
Nope.
Not
No.
enough to justify the cost.
No way. No way.
Okay. How do you manage side effects from Tren? Just
Get gyno surgery.
It depends.
No.
It depends what the side effects are. But at the end of the day, like taking less is always going to produce less side effects. Taking more is always going to produce more side effects. So there's your answer. You know.
I think which ones, right? So typically the ones associated with Tren will be night sweats,
Night sweats,
vivid dreams, anger, aggression. Well, I guess the same thing. Anger, aggression, and I know.
prolactin, gyno. Yeah, prolactin. Obviously, it can make your dick not work as well if you're prolactin.
I guess so. Yes, an androgen, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, just take less.
Take less. Be mindful of gyno, as in so take regular blood work to know what's going on inside. Take less. To be honest with you, you're not going to fully avoid them. You're probably going to encounter some of them. So it's just like risk reward kind of thing, you know.
I actually include Tren in majority of my blasts, so you could say I'm probably on Tren 6 months out of 8 months out of the year, but I'm taking 100 mg. I'm not taking above that. Even in prep,
is that an anthe or
acetate and amphic, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever I kind of plan at the time. Normally I use acetate just because I want to pull it in and out quite quickly.
Do you feel any of the sides?
No, not at 100. But if I went to 300, sure I do.
Yeah.
And I also think like the sleep and all of that stuff. The sweating's always a sweating, but I think a lot of the anger. I don't get angry in off season when I'm eating a lot of food. I don't really get that many sleep issues when I'm on Tren in the off season. I think a lot of it comes from people associate Tren with dieting, and when you're dieted down and you struggle with sleep, I think it's the diet.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I could take Tren in the off season and sleep just fine. No, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Not sleeping well is definitely more to do with low body fat and lack of food. Fat. Yeah. So I guess with Tren, do you know what I think? I think a lot of it's like psychology. I think people tell themselves they're going to feel stuff, and you know what I mean. It almost exacerbates the problem. You know.
Yeah, it's almost like when you look at like I don't know a medication you're taking, and you go for the list of side effects, and it's like 1 in 10,000, and you think to yourself, "Oh, am I getting that?" And all of a sudden, like you almost like convince yourself that that's happening.
100%. You know, or if you Google your symptoms of what you've got, and then all of a sudden it's that, and you're like, "Oh fuck," and start like linking it straight away.
Yeah.
If you didn't have some like Tren is like a meme now, isn't it? Tren has become the word. Even in Amy's school, they're all like fucking like 13, 14, 15-year-olds that she teaches, and they all say Tren.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, what are you doing, Tren?" That's the word, right? So if that hadn't happened, I feel like people would feel differently about it. Because it's almost in people's psychology that it's going to make you angry.
Oh, yeah.
And like, yeah.
You almost like cause it to happen without like it actually, yeah. But yeah, just take less. Just take less.
Take less. Yeah.
That's your answer.
Yep.
Again, that's the food question. With everything being so expensive now, how do you make bodybuilding more affordable? Food, supplements, PEDs.
Do you want to go?
So with food, again, like you can budget, like, you know, rice, for example. Rice is fucking cheap. Pasta's really cheap. Like your carbohydrates are fairly cheap. Don't buy the packets of rice. Buy your fucking cooked raw rice and cook it. Yeah, it's a little bit more time consuming, but you know.
Then if you like batch cook, it's not too bad. You know, you can like cook enough for the day in one go. It's not.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Don't have like 30 million carb sources. Have 4.
Yep. So
Um,
you can go out bag of oats, you know, fucking like Asda's own, Tesco's own. It's cheap as fuck. That'll last you at least a week or two. Like if you
I
buy one of
think
them big
people say
ones.
this. Oh, bodybuilding is so expensive. It's so expensive to buy salmon. But on the weekend, I'm gonna get a Domino's that will cost me 40 quid.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Uh,
like
yeah, man.
out of
So
priority.
I think yeah, like so veg is cheap, right? Onion, pepper, tomato, fucking whatever. I don't know. It's just cheap, and then rice is very very cheap. And if you buy it in bulk, and then even like frozen meat, it's like cheaper, isn't it? You know, like in Iceland and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
don't agree. I think the standard is shit. The quality is definitely worse, but the cost
whey
up.
protein is cheap. When I actually, someone said, oh, 50 quid for a tub of whey protein. I'm like, right, I'm gonna break this down to you. I'm like, 2 kilos, 50 gram of whey per serving. That's 40 servings, right? So when you break that down, that's not that expensive, is it?
Yeah, that's it. But do you know what? Like, and if you go for like a cheaper brand, again, but bearing in mind, I don't like that. But I'm saying if you've got a budget,
Yeah.
you can buy cheaper way.
I
You
mean,
can buy
so
cheaper way.
yeah, so if you think like 50 quid, 40 servings, that's like a £1.20 or something like that per
Yeah.
serving. That's not that bad.
But if you had to let one of them go, mm, I think. So what did he say? He said food, gear, and what was the other one he said?
Supplements.
Yeah,
It will
supplements.
be
Supplements are going to have to make way. You're
Yeah,
going to have to
so
make
don't buy
yeah.
EAAs. You
No,
don't need to buy EAAs. You don't need to buy hydration formula. You don't need to buy glutamine. You know, and glutamine is cheap, but like a lot of the stuff that's really fucking expensive. Don't buy that shit, you know?
yeah. If you want a budget, cheap meat, cheap rice, cheap veg,
Yeah.
cheap whey.
You don't need to buy the sleep stack from Dr. Dean. Just fucking, do you know, but no, but people will
Just
do that.
sleep your cunt.
They'll go, I can't buy salmon, but then you see them with like their monthly order of sleep stack and fucking whatever stack and this and that stack. And it's like, well,
When did going to sleep become so hard? Just fucking close your eyes in a dark
I
room. Just
know,
fucking like, why are bodybuilders struggling to sleep all the time? Like,
I
fucking
know.
hell.
If you
It's
can't
weird.
sleep, you're not tired enough. You need to fucking like
Work on.
do more shit.
Yeah. Go harder in the gym. No, do you know, I'm being a bit of a dick because obviously some people struggle to sleep, but it just seems like I feel like sometimes bodybuilders make a problem out of nothing.
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, it really helps my sleep. Just shut your eyes and go to sleep. For fuck's
yeah.
sake.
I think it's almost like prior to a lot of these sleep supplements, no one struggled to sleep.
I know,
And now everyone struggles to sleep. You know,
now
now
everyone
everyone
is.
can't
Yeah,
sleep. It's like, you know. So,
yeah,
but yeah, so obviously supplements. I wouldn't say whey protein is a supplement. It's more of food.
I agree. I agree.
So that's a cheap protein. One of the cheaper protein sources.
It's the boring answer, but like the food you can do it cheaper. You can do it on a budget. The training, obviously, you need a gym membership, and that's kind of it. The supplements can fucking wait. And then if you're going on cycle, use less. Just use testosterone, and that's it.
Yeah.
I
And the
mean,
thing is, right, for you to prep food is actually cheaper than thinking, oh, what the fuck am I going to eat? And you go into fucking Sainsbury's and you get a meal deal for like 4 quid, you know, which is fucking shit. You know, just prep food.
I'm so confused as to why people find it so hard to like wake up 20 minutes before you normally do and put on 2 pans. One of them's got chicken, one of them's got beef, for example. Or chicken and beef in the same pan, and then some rice, and then make your oats while you're waiting. Is it that hard? Is
It's
it
just
that
being
hard?
lazy. Do it the
It's
night
not that
before.
hard. Do it the night before. And do you know what? You don't. It's not like you have to stand over the fucking stove.
Yeah.
Put it on and then go and brush
That's what you
your
got
teeth.
air fryers for.
Or that even
I
easier.
literally, I got a rice cooker and an air fryer. I chuck the chicken in in the air fryer. 20 minutes. Rice takes 20 minutes. Done.
So whilst that's going, it's not dead time, is it? You can go and fucking brush your teeth, fucking have a wank, whatever you
Have a
want.
shower. Yeah. I come back from the gym, put my food down to get ready. Go have a shower. By the time I'm done, it's done.
Yeah, again, people make it a problem out of nothing. It's not a problem. It's fucking, as you say, going to the shop several times in the day. is not only more expensive, but it's time consuming. When you're at work and you walk to the shop and back again, what's that? 10 minutes there, 5-10 minutes in the shop, 10 minutes back. You could have done all of your daily food in less time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know what I mean? For half the price. So yeah, I think just people aren't willing to put an F in.
Again, it's almost like almost sounds like an excuse question. You know, it's like, oh, like, how do you manage the price? And you're like, well, that's how you manage the price. Oh, but then I haven't got the time to do that.
Yeah,
you know,
they need an excuse. They're looking, they're like, shit, where's the next excuse? They're like, oh shit, where's the excuse? Like you could come up with a rebuttal for all of their excuses, and they'll still find one. Yeah, come on,
man. Oh, extension to the budget question. Is it okay to use fattier meats to save money? So, like, instead of 5% mince, 15% mince? No.
Yeah. Well, you get less protein.
Okay, let's say chicken thighs instead of chicken breast.
Yeah, you get less protein.
So but it's a lot cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. So, in fact, let me look. Have you ever, by the way, have you ever tasted 20% mince?
No. No.
Man, see, I struggle with that.
I sometimes get clients that go, well, my food is now really high. Can I substitute 5% mince for 20% mince because it's got more calories? And I'm like, no, because it's shittier quality meat. So the what's not in the meat, that 20%, that's just fat, but it's shit fat. It's like animal fat that you don't want. It's saturated fat. So I would much rather you still buy the 5% meat and then use olive oil.
Sure, right. So beef mince. So I'm just looking at the difference. So in 100 grams of normal beef mince, it's similar. You get 3 grams less of protein, but you get
20 grams of fat.
4 times the amount of fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you do 300 grams, let's say 250 grams of mince, right? It's about 50 grams of protein. Like, you know, in that amount, you're still getting a fair amount of fat. It's not like you're getting no fat.
Yeah.
You know, so per 100 grams, you're getting 5 grams of fat. So if you're, think you're getting 12.5 grams of fat.
Yeah, exactly. So how much cheaper is it? Like, how much is the 15% fat? You know what I mean? Is it that much cheaper? So I'm fairly sure the 5% mince is like £4 for a 500 gram pack.
About a fiver.
Okay.
That, yeah. Which that does you 2 meals, 500 grams.
Yeah, but if you're on a budget, maybe they do you 3 meals. I don't know. I feel like make budget for that. Like, better off buying slightly better quality stuff for sure.
Yeah.
If you can. If you really, really can't, I don't know. The thing is that bugs me though, these people are probably, as you say, like buying Domino's on the weekend or like buying fags or buying vapes or whatever. You can only do those things if you can afford them.
Yeah.
Like you've got it now, but you can afford it. It's no problem. Imagine if you were skimping out on your food just so you could have that vape.
Yeah, no, exactly. But again, it's prioritizing people or just even shit like I said, just going out and stuff like that. You've got to go out, but just obviously bear that in mind that, you're going to sacrifice something else over that.
I'm talking to a child. This is the kind of shit you would say to a child.
What?
It's like not realizing that, you've got X amount of money, budget it, prioritize. This is like basic stuff. You know what I mean? What we're saying is hardly groundbreaking right now, is it?
But it's also funny as well, because if you say to someone, well, let's buy salmon, and they'll go, salmon's expensive, I can't afford salmon. But if you say to them, let's up the trend, they'll go, yeah, so they can always afford more trend, but they can't afford which is funny, because it's like, if you think about it, per meal, it's similar. It's similar, isn't it? That's you pay £5 a bottle.
That's funny, yeah. Oh, salmon, no, trend.
I don't have a mill of trend. That's fine.
You know that meme where Drake's doing that, and then the other one, he's like, it's fucking hell, yeah. It reminds me of shit. Oh my god, I've never literally like said it like in my head. It's so true. It's so true. They're happily fucking up the trend. Happily. Yeah. I don't know, man. Again, it's just excuses and prioritizing,
But in short, don't buy fattier meats. You get similar protein, but you get a lot of shit fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually have a few of my guys on chicken thighs because they really like the taste. It's a bit
I
more
think the
flavoursome, right?
thighs, yeah, because they taste different and you can take the skin off.
Sure. But yeah, in general, no, I'd say try not to. And realistically, as bodybuilders, we're trying to keep fats down generally. Generally speaking, bodybuilders are on low fat diets.
Mhm.
Carbs are typically up, the protein's up, the fat's typically down.
Yeah. How many
Typically.
fats would you say you normally do on a normal day? Because it also that bear
Um,
that in mind. You're doing 6,000 calories. So if you're doing 120 grams of fat a day, that's not that much relative to your total calories. But if you're someone who's taking in 2,700, 3,000 calories, to be doing 100 grams of fat, that's overkill.
exactly that, mate. Yeah. As a percentage. So I actually inputted my stuff in this morning, so I'll be able to tell you. I'm taking in 90 grams of fat in a day. 90. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at about 70. I
And
tend to
we,
do
well,
kind of like pre and post workout, and the meal after post workout, I'll do like close to no fat.
yeah,
And then from that point on, my other 3 meals have about 20 grams of fat, 25 grams of fat.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I've got steak and eggs in the morning, so it's just protein fats, and then I put almond butter in with my oats in the evening, and
Yeah,
tiny bit of cheddar cheese on one of my meals as well. That's it.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, just
yeah.
kind of bear that in mind that fats, you don't want to overdo fats. What would a typical peak week look like for a super heavy bodybuilder?
Depends. Yeah, it depends. There's not one answer, is there? It's not. But again, we can give a rough idea, right? Being a super heavy myself, I can give you a rough idea. Typically, you've been depleting for quite a while.
So
Depleting
let's say that ends at say 8 days out. Start 10 days out.
10 days out. You probably at the 10-day out point probably would have just had a high day.
Yeah.
You probably would have just had some form of high day because what you're trying to do as a super heavy is you're trying to hold on, especially being a tall guy.
But is that not just anyone, not just a super heavy? It's just that the amounts are magnified.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll
You
agree with
know?
that. I'll agree with that. I think the bigger you get, the more that this is relevant. Though you can feel yourself completely fading away, especially as a tall guy. You can feel yourself just fading away, and you're always mindful that you look stringy.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger guys get marked up for that, right? So anyway, so you probably come off the back of a high day. So now you're going to enter one more depletion. Depletion basically means your lowest food, whatever that is relative to you. You're going to be on that. That would take you to from like the 10-day out point. That'll probably take you to roughly 4 days before the show. But you're monitoring all the variables up until that point. Your water's really high, food's low, output begins to ease off. So typically you start to move less to allow your body to de-stress in a nutshell. So you start reducing cardio down bit by bit by bit, and then you end up doing nothing. And then about 4 days out, you start thinking about how you're going to load up. And it typically, in my opinion, my opinion changes now, has changed. I don't think people need to load up nearly as hard as they do. But this is how it typically goes. People start loading at 4 days out, 3 days out. Let's go anywhere between 700 to 1,200 grams of carb, somewhere in that region. And then every single day you assess the look, and then you go again based on how you're looking. Again, based on how you're looking again. And then that typically runs up until show day, which you then start manipulating other variables, i.e., electrolytes, water, and then if you're going to be using diuretics as well. So that will happen roughly from like the 24-hour out point. You start thinking about what you're going to do for those things. Yeah, and then roll into the show. And my thing that I say to all my clients is on show day itself, you want to try and keep stomach volume as low as possible. So I typically cut water, but quite late. So you're not cutting water several days before. You're cutting water probably just before you go to bed, and then of the day of the show, you're not drinking too much. Again, you know what this feels like as well. How does it feel when you've got a fuck ton of water in your stomach and you're trying to pose? Loads of water, loads of food.
Yeah.
It's just shit. It's just hard as fuck. So just trying to keep stomach volume down really helps with the posing. You drink enough water to be able to transport the food that's going in your body. So let's say you have 2 or 3 meals on show day. You drink a bit of water with each meal just to allow yourself to digest it well. That's it.
I think from all the stuff you've said, though, it's actually pretty simple. Don't fucking complicate it. You know, it's kind of like you deplete, you add the carbs back in, not too many.
It's the big one.
You know?
Yeah, in a nutshell, it is a simple process, but it can definitely go wrong quite easily. You can. I think that you're better off going in more modest. I remember once upon a time I heard someone say, it was Amy's old coach. He said, we aim for 90%, 100% of the time. Okay. So what that means in English is instead of us pushing you to your absolute fucking limit and risk fucking up, we go to 90% and we make sure that it's 100% going to happen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
90% is like spot on. That 90% is 100%.
Yeah. But if you've got 100 athletes and you bring them all at 90%, so 100% of the time, that's better than getting 40, 100, and then some of them you spilled, some of them were too flat, some of them, you see what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's it.
Maximum calorie deficit acceptable on prep. I haven't read these, so I'm just opening them as we go. I'm not sure what that means. Maximum calorie deficit acceptable. I mean, you just go as long as you need to fucking go, right?
I think you're saying how harsh of a deficit can you go? So let's say your maintenance was 3,000. How much lower than that?
Well, say if we're starting prep, we can be more aggressive to start, right? If as your calories get lower and lower and lower, you're going to cut less. It's like, let's say if you're on 2,000 calories, cutting 150 calories can make a difference. If you're on starting prep on 6,000, you're probably going to have a decent chunk cut off to start off.
Yeah. There's as always, mate. The answer depends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But nothing's going to be detrimental. It matters how long you've got. So if you've only got like a 6-week prep, you're going to have to go quite aggressive. But if you've got like a 20-week prep, you can go a bit slower. So it kind of depends.
Something I learned this prep, you can only go so aggressive. And being more aggressive doesn't mean better.
What, mate, this is nice. This is cool. This is like a thing that's like changed with you because you've actually felt that now, haven't you? You physically went through it.
Look, at the time, I knew that wasn't what I had to do. But like I said to you, you almost like brace yourself for it because you know that you're going to have to do it. So it's like, well, that's what I'm going to do. So it's kind of like you just accept it sort of thing, But it's not something I would ever recommend for a client. It's not something I'd ever practice with a client.
Do you remember that we had this conversation? I think we had with Kelvin. When we had Kelvin on, we literally spoke about this. We spoke about which method is better, going really aggressive at the beginning to see fast changes whilst you've got energy, or doing it more gradual.
Yeah, but I think that can work. But you almost kind of need to use that at the start and then pull out of it, not aggressive from day one to day whatever ends the prep.
Yeah, I definitely fall more towards gradual increases rather than or decreases. In fact, if you'll find yourself non-responsive if you go too hard too soon.
Yeah,
your body will just start fighting back.
Well, it's the same with the off season. Back to the question of how much to gain. Gain less per week. That way you don't gain too much and you get too fat and then you have to diet.
Literally the exact opposite of what we. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maximum calorie deficit. Basically, just whatever you need to do.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Can you speak more about semaglutide? Is it okay for females to use? Yeah, it's okay for females to use.
This is your fucking wheelhouse, mate. So anything else you can add to it?
What more? Like, there's not really a specific, nothing specific. It's just like more. I don't know what more there is to cover about it. Like
you were quite good last time. You gave quite a lot of information about it. So
yeah, because I kind of study it quite a lot because I like to do that. I like to know about these things because it interests me, and two, like, because obviously I did chemistry I was going to take it at uni, so I was going to do a fucking degree, so I know these things and I actually dig into the actual chemistry of it. But like, what more? Like, what more is there to kind of say? It's pretty much, I think, we covered it last time. it's something that if you, it's not going to replace dieting. So people might, it's not going to replace dieting. You still need to diet. That's the bottom line. So it's no magic.
No, I agree with you, mate. If you really struggle with your appetite and it's something that you feel is going to be beneficial, crack on.
Yeah, I think sometimes that people got to remember that it can be like a double-edged sword, because whilst you're on it, you have that like decrease in appetite, and maybe you lose 20 pounds. And then let's say you decide to come off of it for whatever reason, cost, or you just kind of feel like you need to come off of it. Well, then you can put these 20 pounds back on and then some. So this is something you've got to bear in mind, kind of like an exit strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay for females to use. Obviously, I think the response is based on how much you weigh. So the more you weigh, likely the more you're going to need to take. So obviously, females probably can start lower. But yeah, there's not like steroidal or anything like that where it has any effects like that. So it's perfectly fine to use for females.
Does it matter what? So you said about weight, but does it matter about muscle mass? Is that a factor in it as well, or is it just weight in general?
Oh no, I'm just speculating that if you weigh less, you're going to get more of a response out of a smaller dose.
Well, yeah, that makes logical sense for sure. But I think I guess what I was asking you is muscle mass factor in how it works within a body. Like if I took it, or if someone my height but like 100 pounds less, like
I don't think it's a height, it's a weight related thing. It's more body fat related, as in it's not a muscle mass related, it's more a body fat related. So let's say if you're taking it in the off season and your appetite's kind of like okay, it might blunt it quite a lot. Now, if you're 2 weeks out of a show and you take the same dose, that might not even touch, like you might not even do
it. Right, yeah, makes sense.
Because remember, they use these things on obese and diabetics. So
yeah.
So I think that's probably more of a factor than actual muscle.
Makes sense.
So I do think though, if you take it and it suppresses your appetite that much that you can't eat, that might affect your performance negatively, which can then cause you to lose muscle.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So indirectly can make you lose muscle.
Well,
not because of its mechanism. Yeah, not because of its actual mechanism, but because of side effects, Yeah.
I think as a bodybuilder, if you're gonna use it, you might want to use a dose that isn't overkill, where it doesn't completely destroy your appetite.
Yeah, because that could be a bodybuilder's worst nightmare, couldn't it? If you're not able to get the food in, then
yeah,
fuck, yeah.
So
someone like me who hasn't got a raging appetite, that's not going to be beneficial at all.
Yeah. And I think almost with prep, like I can't actually see that being useful in prep, because yes, the hunger, there is hunger, but it's almost like more of a mental hunger. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a physical hunger where, let's say you haven't eaten all day and you're like, I'm starving. It's more like it's almost like boredom hunger and almost like a mental hunger, the fact that you can't have it.
Yeah.
At least that's how I saw it. For me, it was more like, I know I can't have a pizza. I'm not allowed a fucking pizza. And that's what makes me want it. Not so much that I'm so starving for it.
Yeah. I'm absolutely fine. I'll be absolutely fine. It's just like the brain's going, go on.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's gonna be helpful in prep.
Yeah. Agree.
And in prep also because it does bring down your blood glucose. Mm-hmm. So you can end up going hypo, which then for you to then have to eat and ruin your diet.
Yeah.
To bring yourself out of the hypo.
It just defeats the object. It's like
yeah. So it's almost like, imagine going on hypo on that, and you need to eat to kind of like bring yourself out of it. Yes, you suppress your appetite, but then you need to eat. So it's like, yeah. I guess it'll be interesting to use it. I'll definitely experiment with it, because a lot of the time when I get clients ask me stuff, I'm like, say Psalms, for example. Someone says about Psalms, I'm like, I won't speak about Psalms because I've never tried it. So
it gives you a completely different perspective once you've felt it yourself, and it doesn't matter what you read, nothing will give you the information like feeling it yourself. It really.
So for me to put someone on it, I would have to have tried it myself first. So I've got some, so I'll try at some point.
Yeah.
Not now, but Yeah, but yeah. Have you tried GHK copper peptide? That's the first time I've heard of this.
I don't even know what it is, mate.
Copper. Why would you be taking copper?
Surely that's just a name.
Well, I don't know. Do you know what? We'll just leave it because I haven't got a clue.
Fuck peptides. I can't be fucked.
Guys that you see turning pro this year. Who do we know that can turn pro this year?
Oh, depends who's competing. But obviously, you know, if we're talking IFBB, right? We're not talking PCA. We're talking IFBB.
Yeah.
Well, any of our friends could, you know, like if they choose to do it, then they're, you know, they're over the level. Dan, Craig, that Nathan Heck. I'm
No,
not
but
sure.
like, so out of people that we know, who's or the people that normally try or kind of like are on that running on that trajectory.
Yeah, Connor.
So Connor's competing at the end of July, June, end of June.
Connor's name's always in the mix, in it. So yeah, Connor, Johnny.
So he'll definitely be up there. What's Johnny doing? I'm not.
I saw him at FX. He's a little bit cryptic with it, but he says he's always staying like fairly close.
Yeah.
Why
do you do that?
Yeah,
you know when you say to people, oh, like when you compete, and they go, "Oh, secret, bro." Bro, it's like I don't care that much.
Bro, no one's on the edge of their seat going,
yeah,
when's Johnny going to compete? Like, no, like,
yeah.
But no. So I saw Johnny, and he was like this. Exactly, his mannerisms was like this. He was like, "Yeah, you know, bro, you know, I stay tight, bro. I stay tight." And I was like, "Yeah, but what, you know, what are you staying tight for?" And he was like, "No, we'll see, you know, keep it tight, mate. You know, keep it tight." And I was like,
Yeah,
all right, mate.
It's like no, but you know, I get it, but also don't get it because it's kind of like, well, no one cares that much. You're not that important. We don't care that much, and not Johnny, but anyone.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Johnny's obviously
that.
Johnny's a lovely bloke, and he's probably good enough to get one, right? But it's like, as you say,
yeah. No, I mean, and you know, if you don't want to say, just say, no, I don't want to say, but almost to kind of be like, oh, I'll keep people guessing. It's like no one cares. You know, like, and again, like not towards Johnny, but towards like people that do this as a whole.
It's basically it goes back to I remember when we did Room 101. My one of mine is this fucking emoji. When people are like, we like, you know, don't count me out. It's like,
yeah. It's like,
who is counting you out? Who do you honestly think people are sat at home going, oh, like no one cares?
But like, look, Connor, for example.
Yeah.
I spoke to him a couple of days ago. I said to him, "Oh, when are you competing?" And he goes, 29th of June. I'm like, "Oh, sweet." You know.
Simple as that.
Or is it? What did you say? July. So it's either one of them, but like, I think it's July. I think it's July because June is too soon. Oh no, it might be July. So you know he'll say that day. You know.
Yeah, just straight up, just
like he's kind of like. And then there's the other people that are like, oh, you know. But yeah, so we got Johnny, we got Connor.
The top of my head, I really don't know, but there's the usual suspects that everyone always says, you know.
Don Valley, do you reckon he can
Don Valley, yeah.
I think if he, because remember he obviously said to us like he's never actually stuck to a diet, and he's always kind of like, you know. So if he actually like puts it together, I think he's gonna.
No, I agree on that one. Yeah, I'm just looking at my explore page, and all those names have come up. Connor, Don Valley. Off the top.
Josh Law is out for the year, is he?
Josh Law is not competing now, I don't think. No. My client, the one I said about yet last week, AJ. I honestly think he's got a shout.
Yeah, he's really good.
The classic guy, yeah. If he preps like I think he should, then yeah, he's in for a shout. Oh, that guy. He's a PCA pro. You know, I put him into the group the other day.
Yes, we spoke about him on the podcast last night. Actually, yeah. He's
Alexandru.
Yes. Is he gonna do
IFBB?
Is he?
Don't know.
How mad is it that at that show that you done, 4 of those guys are now pro. Is it 4?
3.
3.
Yeah. Gomez, Reese, and Carlos.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a show. The standard was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to find a better standard of amateur show.
And mind you, it wasn't like a stat show where it was like as a amount of competitors. So it wasn't like 100 people competed. You know, it's kind of like 20 people. You know.
Yeah, 20 people, but those 20 people would probably win any show they did. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if this guy's going IFBB, but I'm going to shout him out as well. His name on Instagram is AC and then SELL, ACCell.PCA Pro. Alexandru, Amy's just said. His fucking, like, it's absolute cartoonish proportions.
Yeah, yeah. But when you look at, and I know it's men's physique.
Men's physique, though.
Yeah, no, I know. But when you look at his stage shots, the one that he's holding the pro card and like the stage shots, that look doesn't translate.
So this one here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't look like that picture you shot, and that's a photo shoot as well. Okay, so photo shoots touch things up, and you know.
I will say this: that was 2021. Yeah. He's quite a short guy, so it looks like he's.
Well, that's 2021. What, end of 2021?
That was posted November 21.
Right, so it's a year old, a year and a half.
Year and a half old.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, yeah. But again, Instagram, you know, Instagram. So I'm not saying he looks really good, but all I'm saying is just to kind of like, for the sake of the argument, a lot of people look good on Instagram, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, he has won pro status though with PCA, so he's definitely of a standard. And if that was him 2 years ago, I think if he's going to go against IFBB guys, he's going to be very, very.
Yeah.
It all depends on, because that upper body fullness is off the fucking chart for me. I don't know what his leg detail's like.
Yeah, because we haven't seen his legs, have we?
His leg detail doesn't necessarily match, but I mean, nor does Jordan Gomez, right? Like good, but I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely someone that I'm going to be keeping my eye on, mate. That's a hell of a.
He'll be at the show.
Is
he doing the pros? Is he?
Universe. It would make sense to. I don't know if he is, but hopefully he is. And we can see him.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to get an idea then. He looks fucking lean at the moment. So I'm looking at his story. He's eating an omelette, a really boring omelette. So he probably, you know, it must mean he's getting very, very lean. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the food is boring as fuck.
Yeah. Who else do we know that might be on that list?
Oh shit! Here you go. 2 days until we dance. He's just put on 2 days until we dance.
Oh, so we are going to see him.
Yeah, we're going to see him.
That's good. Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, like there's lots of good people, you know, lots of good guys. So, you know, we'll kind of just need to wait and see.
1 second. What's that? Oh shit! So Amy reckons he's doing the Condition Cup, which is a Dubrow show in Wigan.
Oh.
If it's 2 days, Thursday, Friday.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
27th.
Or he's not going to be doing the PJ qualifier, is he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you might be right. There's also a FitX show on Saturday as well. You know. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Anyway, next question.
3 kitchen items you can't live without. I've got 3.
Go on.
A whisk for the cream of ice.
100%. And the oats.
And the oats. And even whey protein, I whisk it. Kitchen scissors. Because I only cut meat with kitchen scissors.
100%. Never use a knife. Never.
No, fuck no. Imagine using a knife and having a fucking dirty washing board.
Oh no.
You know, like a chopping board and like fucking wash it after. Fuck that shit.
No, you're right.
And third, either a rice cooker or an air fryer. They're kind of like a toss up.
I haven't got either of them. I haven't got
you
rice cooker or air fryer.
Really?
So
Now.
for me, frying pan, scissors, whisk,
Okay.
straight up. But yeah, you're right. Like, who the fuck is still chopping meat on a board? No, scissors.
I don't know if I wouldn't trade the air fryer or thing for the dishwasher because I'm not fucking washing up.
Right, I wash up so much. I wash up like
Really?
once a day. Yes,
Oh,
I'm like
fuck.
living in the Stone Ages, isn't I? I wash up and I don't
Dishwasher.
have an air fryer.
You need an air fryer. Go to Costco and get yourself the Costco air fryer. It's huge and it's 50 quid. Or it used to be when I got it. I've got two. I have two air fryers.
Do you know what? Do you know why I don't? You just said there the word why. It's huge. I don't want it sticking out in my fucking kitchen. I don't like that shit.
It's like the size of a toaster.
Yeah, but I've already got a toaster. Do you know what I mean? Though, like my
No,
kitchen
no.
side, my kitchen side. I've got
You're just arguing just for the sake of. No, trust me. If you get an air fryer, you're never gonna not use it. It is the easiest. You could put like a bagel in there, and it fucking makes it so good. Trust me. Like imagine that, yeah. You come back home, you put your chicken in air fryer. Like you don't even have to do. I even have. I'll show you.
I'm a bit embarrassed to say I don't actually know how it works.
These things
I don't actually get it.
we get from eBay, and you lay that on at the bottom.
So you don't even have to clean up.
Yeah, you don't even have to clean up. You put your shit in there. You turn it on, and literally, like, just does itself. It does itself. You literally don't have to do shit.
Fuck. Well, I just haven't been to.
Yeah.
How much are they? 100 quid?
I mean, yeah, if you get like a Ninja or something, but if you get like the cheaper one, so I've got the Costco one, and I think I've got another one. I can't really see what it is. I think it could be like a Tefal one or something, but they're really good.
Yeah. Maybe I should join the 21st century then, mate.
Yeah, no, because it's just like imagine that you come back home, you chuck the chicken in there, you put the rice into a rice cooker, cooks itself. You go have a shower, you come back down, your meal's done. Because I can't meal prep. I don't do that shit. I need to have every meal fresh. Unless I'm going out and I need to bring meals on me, I need to have it all fresh.
Yeah, I'm the same. But do you know what? Okay, so on the same token as that, I'll put it in the oven, have a timer on, and then when I come down, just as I'm about to dish up, I'll put it in the packet of microwave
Yeah,
rice.
but you've got to wash up the tray, and it's
greaseproof paper.
Okay.
So this is my point. I'm like, yeah, do I really need one? It's just gonna.
Yeah, but the air fryer cooks it different though. Not like an oven cook. It's like an air fryer cooked.
Like juicier.
And you can do all sorts.
I'm not sold, mate. I think the size of it is what's putting me off.
It's not that big.
You said it's the size of a toaster. I don't need another toaster. I've got a toaster.
What? How much? You've not got the space in your house?
I've got space in my house, but I quite like space.
I like appliances.
No. I like space. So I'd rather have like open space rather than loads of clutter.
Yeah, but I've got load of worktops, and I still have room for my appliances.
Yeah, and I'm sure I could fit it on there, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair enough. But no, I think there's not the day doesn't go that I don't use it.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
All right. Tips to manage diet hunger. Semaglutide.
Yeah, fuck. Discipline.
Just fucking suck it up, right?
Yeah. No, the actual answer is like honestly, and we actually kind of touched on it earlier. When you're dieting and you have a goal that really means something to you, it's fuck. You don't even think it's easy. I think the problem is people's goal doesn't mean enough.
Or they haven't got a goal. So
yeah.
Clients where like we kind of like diet for a bit. Let's say they start like 10 weeks in, and I'm like, should we think about like a bigger goal to have in mind so then you've actually got something to aim towards? And they're kind of like, why? I'm like, why? Is because when it starts to get hard, you're gonna start to think, well, why am I doing this? Why? Yeah. Well, I've got no. For me now, I've got no reason to be like, I don't fancy training. I'm going to take the day off, or be like, I'm just going to eat a fucking Domino's because I fancy it. You know, if you're 100%. On a diet, and you've got a goal, an end goal,
Yeah.
you stick to it.
Yeah, 100%. But the goal really needs to mean something to you. Like, do you ever have people telling you, they say, what goal should I have?
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't tell you. I can't make you want
Yeah.
something. You need to want it, and then you come to me and tell me, and then I'll
Yeah.
get you there. Yeah?
And even more so, because it's like, when it gets hard and they start to moan, you can then turn around and go, you asked for this. I didn't force you.
Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
the one that said to me, I want this. So you can't then moan about it.
Definitely,
Because
man.
a lot of coaches will force people to compete, will force people into certain things, and then clients drop off because they don't want it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the biggest one is basically that make the goal mean enough. When the goal means enough, it's easy. But then that aside, drink more water, black coffee, caffeine will help stunt your hunger. Zero
But
drinks.
not too much.
Well, yeah, not too much. Zero drinks, so Pepsi Max, fucking Zero Monster, blah blah blah. And then this is the creme de la creme helping hunger. 0-calorie jelly. Well, I say 0 calories, 0 sugar jelly.
Yeah.
No, like the little jelly pots. They're 10 calories. I have a couple of pots of that, and it feels like a pudding. So
see, that will trigger me more. When I diet, you know what? You know how I'm like, I don't even put fucking spices on my shit. Just because I'm like, I would rather not have that in, because that would trigger me more. I feel like if every time before preps before, I will try and be like, oh, let me get this sauce. Well, let me get this to make my diet easier. Guaranteed, I've cheated on my diet. Yeah. This time, I kept it like, I'm like, well, I just can't have that. You know, I'm like, I can't have that. So I just like kept my diet like literally salt and pepper. And it was the easiest I've obviously felt it than ever before.
Yeah, I think
it depends how you think.
If the food is too tasty, I find it just makes it way harder.
Yeah,
like just make it a bit more basic.
So even though I had like macros, there are certain things I would not have in my plan. So I'll never put bagels in my plan, because I know they're
good.
Yeah, if I have one, I'm gonna want 5.
Yeah, I know you're saying.
You know, so cream of rice. I love cream of rice, but when I diet, I don't eat cream of rice.
I used to always have a cereal post workout, like years gone by.
Yeah.
I don't anymore. It sets me up. Cereal's it tastes too good. When you're dieting, it tastes too good.
So I think sometimes, especially if it's a goal of like 12-week diet, you know, being like the last 4 or 5 are actually when it starts to get tough. But 4 or 5 weeks, suck it up and just eat fucking plain food, you know?
Yeah, stop being such a baby. Like, I say this, whoever asked this question, like, remember, I'm saying it with a smile on my face. I'm not trying to start a fight here. But just stop being a baby. Like, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Like, it's okay. Yeah. A bit of hunger ain't going to kill you. It really is not.
Yeah.
You're not starving to death.
And I think it's depending on the goal as well. Like, if you're obviously aiming to compete, then you've got no excuse. If you're just dieting, just a diet, then you've got a lot more flexibility.
Yeah, agreed.
So, let's see. I think we've got a couple more, 3 more. How would you go about switching from strength to hypertrophy? But there's no switching. It's not like it's a fucking switch, or like a, you know, they're related. They're I think this, right? If you're kind of advanced, you're going to have phases where you spend a bit of time on strength training and a little bit more time on like higher volume, you know, because of joint wear and tear and all that stuff. So you can't always like fucking hammer the weights. But also, it's not like a switch. You're always aiming to get stronger. I think it's the exercises are different.
Yeah. I would say that, like, yeah, the two kind of really complement each other really well. Like, I'm aiming to be stronger, and specifically I'll give myself like a big movement.
Yeah.
And I'll try and get strong on it. Like, but I'm also doing a rep range that isn't lending itself to, like, you know, powerlifting. No, I'm not doing singles, doubles, triples.
Yeah.
It's always somewhere between 6 to 15, give or take.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, it's not even that. So in strength, you're kind of looking at the entire lift, right? So let's say we take the bench, and you're like, right, on the bench, where am I weakest? Am I weakest off the bottom? Am I weakest at the top, at the lockout? So then at that point, let's say if your weakness is at the lockout, well, then you practice things like floor, what's it called, like pin presses or things like that, which train that portion of the movement. So in hypertrophy, you eliminate that because we don't care. We don't care.
But then also, you go.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, other thing as well is, they're not thinking about mind to muscle. If you're trying to get stronger, you're just trying to move it, so eliminating like a lot of the, the geeky shit that all the bodybuilders go on about. Eliminate all the eccentric focus and what's moving the muscle and contractions. Fuck all that shit. So if you want to switch, then you need to like just think about how you're getting from A to B.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you kind of like stop like worrying about like where you're weakest or just moving the weight from A to B, which I think that just takes time. Like that's why I'm not a lot of the stuff when you see kind of like people that are beginner level and they go on about mind muscle connection and things like that. It's like you don't have that. Just get fucking strong.
Yeah. It takes years. It takes years to really perfect it. And mind to muscle connection throughout the whole set. Realize this. It's easy to have mind to muscle connection when you're fresh. Like when you first perform the movement, it's easy.
Yeah.
But then when it starts to get hard, you start breaking down. And then your other muscles start taking over. So for example, me, as soon as I start struggling on chest, my delts go, so you need to really lock into what's fucking doing what. Is this person switching from strength to hypertrophy?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, you need to stop thinking about just moving the weight and really think about what's doing what.
And also think like, even after all this time we've trained, we probably still don't have that great of a connection with our chests because they're shit, right? So take your back, for example. You've got a really good connection with your back, which is partly why your back's developed as well as it is. So, I think when it comes to kind of mind to muscle connection, like the weaker body parts are always going to fall behind. So you need even more focus on them.
Yeah. That's the irony, isn't it? You've got a weaker body part, people assume that you're not focusing as much on it. And it's like, well, no, you're focusing. I'm focusing more.
Yeah.
Focusing more. Would you say that, like with your biceps or your quads, do you honestly think that they're just the best connections?
Bro, I get one set of biceps and I can't extend my arm. It feels like my arm's gonna fucking blow up. Like with my biceps, and like just yeah. My quads exactly the same way. Like I'll do 4 sets and my quads are like I'll have to stop because my quads are so pumped. My chest, even at the end of the session, I'm kind of like, I kind of got a pump.
It's 20 sets in. Oh,
yeah. Well, something quite interesting that we spoke about on the podcast the other night. Deck was saying he's got a weak chest as well, and he said like when I came off the show, what I started doing is I actually increased my volume by like 4-fold, like just quite a lot more. But he said I went on let's say the Smith. And instead of doing a training for strength kind of thing, he said I started with like, let's say 1 plate aside. But I just tried to focus on that mind to muscle connection and try to build that first. And he goes, over time, I then increase the weight. So I might do, say, 4 sets of like 12 to 15 with just like 1 plate aside. And he goes, just trying to kind of focus on that mind muscle connection. And over time, he said I started to focus more on the weight.
Really strip it back and just think about what's doing what.
Yeah, you lower the volume over time as you start to build that mind muscle connection.
Yeah, I get it.
Because we can press a lot. Like we can all press a lot, right? I can press 4 plates on a Smith, but I don't feel shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. As soon as I get strong, as soon as the weight goes to an extreme level, like I say extreme in inverted commas because it's not extreme, but you know what I mean? Like as soon as I get to that up end stuff, chest is not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Not at all. So then how do I get stronger? It's really hard. It's hard to get stronger through my chest. Specifically through my chest. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think stripping that weight down, and that could be something useful. Stripping that weight right down and just trying to sort of like stupidly low weight and just trying to kind of focus on just my muscle connection potentially. But I think ultimately, if you've got a weak body part, it's always going to be a weak body part,
You know what? Like every time I chest, like I trained it yesterday, I can feel it now. The chest is aching. I always have DOMs. So I know that I'm connecting.
Yeah.
I know I'm connecting. It's just, I don't know.
Just doesn't respond like everything else.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. Do you play video games? No.
Nope.
I never have. Have you?
As a kid.
All right.
As a
Yeah.
kid. No, as an adult, no.
Never been into it.
I tried getting into it. I just can't.
I know.
I get bored.
Yeah. It's there's just something about it. I'm like, it's not just that, but I just look at it and I'm just like, that's just such a waste of time. I'd rather do something else.
I feel the same. It just doesn't excite me. I like, you know, like you see like a film or something and the kids like doing this.
Yeah.
And they're really into it. And I'm like, it's shit. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
when I die on the game, I'm like, never mind.
It's like, yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Who
Never had
cares?
an interest in that. I'm on TRT only. What can help to reduce back knee? Started to flare up after 6 months.
Acne. Get your bloods done.
Yeah. So
It's hard to know specifically what's what, right?
I mean, there are a couple things that you can try. Being you can increase your injection frequency. So if you're pinning a TRT, most people are pinning once a week. So try Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Try even daily shots. You know, you could do that. Just because you keep your levels a lot more stable. That's probably the first line of action.
Because and just to go into that a little bit further, like for people watching, if you're doing one injection a week, and let's say you're using enanthate, half-life of enanthate is 5 days. So let's say injection goes in on Monday, 5 days later, now that has a 50% concentration in your blood compared to Monday.
So that means if you've taken 300 on Friday, you've only got 150.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Then by the time it comes around to doing that injection again, your blood, the concentration of testosterone within your blood went like this. It spiked, and then it came down, and now it's down. So by increasing the frequency, what you do is you get less of a spike. You get smaller spikes. You get spike and then injection, spike, injection. You see what I'm saying? So that's just a
yeah.
Expand on that.
Let's say if you take 300 in one go, and that's not TRT, but let's say just use 300. If you take 300 in one go, you're going to aromatize a lot more, so you're going to have a lot more of a spike of estrogen. So that can obviously cause acne, you know. So yeah, do your blood work, but I would first try and lower the injection frequency.
Is that guy he said he was only on TRT as well?
Yeah.
See, to me, that says there's something else going on, mate.
Yeah.
TRT
again,
with back knee.
Is it self-prescribed or is it? But then again, like, right, let's say if your test levels are, I don't know, 6, when they need to be 26, and you now put yourself at 26, if you're prone to acne because you just got shit skin, you're likely gonna get it because it's just a side effect that you're gonna get. So it's just like, because again, like a lot of people think, oh well, I'm only TRT. Yeah, but you're going from 6 to 26. You're going like 6 times the amount you've been.
Yeah, I think again, the genetic element that people, it's like the elephant in the room that people don't want to talk about. Sometimes, sorry, excuse the expression, but you're doomed. there's going to be something that you're prone to, and you'll always get it.
Yeah,
and it's the unfortunate truth, but it happens. You know,
you used to get back acne at one point.
Yeah, I did, mate. You're right. I actually used to get it when I was a kid.
Right.
I had it when I was, like going through puberty, and then kind of went away. And then when I started test, it came back again. Yeah. Even now, to be honest with you, I can't tell you that my back's always clear.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't see it.
No, it's never bad. It's not bad, but Amy will always pull my top up and start.
Yeah. I can't stand that.
It fucks me off. Oh my god. But yeah. So if you're prone to it, you're prone to it. A bit like me with the hair loss. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world, but it happens. Some people can be absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to Turkey to get mine done.
Yeah. You're going soon, right?
So my mate's going to come with me. So Josh, he's going to come with me. So we're going to go together.
Josh Watson.
Yeah. So we just need to sort of work out when.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at your bonnet. You can't really see because you're fucking.
No, you can't. But obviously, I've got rid of it all, so there's no hair now.
Yeah.
No, I've still got my hairline. You see, like I've still got like.
Yeah.
I've got my hair. It's just that it's thinner. So it's not like, you know, some people recede and they get like their hairline goes back. Mine doesn't. Mine just thins.
Yeah. So you can start seeing more of your scalp just as you're going about your business. That's what happens to me as well, too much at the top.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, it got to the point where I was seeing my scalp so much that I was kind of like, I'm just gonna shave it.
100%. I'm growing it back in now, mate.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
Do you know, so many people said to me, and I feel like it's like a bit of a not a bad luck, like a fucking good luck charm. Like I've done so well when I had that fucking mohawk, so I'm like thinking, I'm like half tempted to go that sort of direction again.
really? Why
Yeah,
not?
a load of people were like, "Oh, I look well good for you." Oh, I'm fucking alright. So then I've got my head. I've got my head a little bit.
It's an interesting look. Yeah, it's more of a different look as well.
I won't go for the exact same look, but yeah, certainly I quite like having hair. Quite like it.
Yeah, I prefer having. I feel more attractive with hair.
Feel more attractive when I'm not in off season. To be honest with you, in off season, oh fuck, spoke about it last week, didn't we?
Thing is, our faces aren't too bad. Like,
Oh, fuck, yeah, I was about to say we're kind of okay at the moment, right?
I remember, like back last year, I went and like had to look through some of our old podcasts. And fuck me, we looked fat as fuck.
Well, to be honest with you, we will be lean again, and we'll look at this and think it as well.
Yeah,
I always
probably.
find I look back and I'm like,
Right.
geez, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch myself like in the mirror now, and I'm like, oh man. Or even in the gym, like when I'm just chilling between sets and I see my belly. I haven't got a belly. I've got a six pack, but what I'm saying is just the volume.
It's the distension of
Yes.
food.
Oh, so no chest bump, and we've got a shit chest, right? No chest bump and a big belly. Looks terrible. Look like a strong man. You know that look? You know what I want about?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I don't know. In the off season, my chest doesn't seem to look like it kind of always looks fuller.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see on Sunday, like when I'm fuller, I think it's because I store body fat on my chest, right? But when it comes off, it flattens off. But when you see me walking, my chest is actually in front of my and it sticks out.
Oh shit! Well, you'll see mine on the weekend. It's like the opposite. In off season, it goes shitter.
Yeah, but again, like it's almost like so every time I'm like, oh, I've made progress on my chest, and then I'll dive down, and it's like, no.
Oh, that's what I'm like with my glutes. As soon as I fucking diet, they just go on me. So what's going on for the weekend?
So are we going there on a Saturday or Sunday?
So if I go Saturday, it's only to meet you.
Well, let's go Sunday then. Let's go Sunday then. We'll drive there on the Sunday. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll drive there on the Sunday. We'll watch the show. We're not going to eat much. We're just going to kind of like protein and things like that. We're not going to eat. And then after, because the thing is, that expo is going to be dead.
You reckon?
Yeah. If you looked at the brands that are sponsoring it, it's like 4 brands.
Okay.
It's not going to be like an Arnold or anything like that.
Oh, so no, it's not like that. But I was obviously there last year. I competed, wasn't I? It was still like very busy. There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. So we'll do. What the ideal scenario would be this: we watch the boys. We watch some of the matches we want to watch, and we go and grab some food, and then come back for the overall. Hopefully, one of them will be in it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then it's not going to be too late. If we wait for the overall, it's going to be late as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. For sure.
So we'll go and eat and then come back.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's the best way. And then after that, it's going to be done anyway. So we need to pick where though. So we might need to do some research beforehand.
I thought maybe just like some form of like burger place or some form of
I think so.
Something like American
burger with desserts. Yes. Or we can get like donuts or desserts, like bring them on us and just like eat them there.
Yes. And are we going to be doing, is it going to be a calorie total or a time total or both?
I think we still want to enjoy it. So I wouldn't say time.
Okay.
So you're still kind of trying to enjoy it, you know?
So like maybe like 2 mains, 2 sides.
And then about 1,000 calories.
Say again?
Are we not going to make 6,000 calories? I thought that's what we were going to.
Oh, so yeah, we're gonna go sit. Okay, sorry. But what I'm saying is, we'll break it down like this. Like, for example, right, 2 variations of like 2 of their burgers, like a double cheeseburger with all load of shit in it, and then maybe like
Yeah.
a smaller, yeah, and then maybe like 30 fries, and then like chicken wings,
Yeah.
and then like 2 or 3 desserts.
Yeah. That should
Yeah,
be all right. I think when we haven't eaten all day, that will be all right.
I agree. Yeah, that'd be good fun, mate. That'd be good fun. So what time are you going to be there on Sunday as well?
I'll probably get there for about 9, maybe a little bit before.
Yeah, I've got to be there early because I'm tanning my mate Tom.
Oh,
Tom
okay.
Price, Delta
Yeah.
and I'm tanning Craig.
What
as well,
time are you
so-
going?
Yeah, I should imagine I'll get there for about 9ish.
Okay. Yeah, probably the same as me then.
Yeah.
Have you got your tickets, or are you going to get them on the day?
We don't need to because we're PCA pros.
All right.
Yeah, we get free entry everywhere we go now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, nor did we actually. Nor did we. We only just figured it out. But yeah,
That's handy.
yeah, it's all right, mate. It's all right.
Do you reckon I should get the tickets, or shall I buy the tickets, or shall I get them on the door?
I would suggest getting them before, like, because you never really know what can go wrong. I'd rather just have it. You know what I mean? And just
True.
Free.
Yeah. True. All right.
all right, mate.
Well,
All right.
see you Sunday then.
Yeah. See you Sunday, mate. All right.
I'll have a look on like around places to eat in Coventry. So
We'll have a little look and we'll come up with an idea. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice
Cool.
one, mate.
All right. See
All
you
right,
in a bit.
bro. Catch you later.